This movie tells the story of a handsome farmer who meets a beautiful woman named Mia, who immediately steals his heart. They both fall in love with each other, of course, because they are both attractive. No wonder they got carried away so quickly. After some time dating, they spent the night together. However, the next day, Mia suddenly left and did not contact Cole at all. Feeling like he was being ghosted, Cole was confused and decided to look for Mia. So far, he has known the girl quite well, although not much about her. But what Cole doesn't know is that Mia turns out to be a secret CIA agent, and he is unknowingly trapped in a world full of danger. How will their story go? Without further ado, let's get straight into the story. The movie opens by introducing Mia, a beautiful woman who is on her way to a small town on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. She decides to go on vacation, trying to calm down after losing her close friend. In the midst of his vacation, his boss from the CIA contacts him to make sure that Mia is okay, and assures him that he will return to work after his vacation period is over. Meanwhile, we turn to Cole, who is not a superhero like Captain America, but an ordinary farmer who sells at the market. One day, Cole is asked by a lady who owns a flower shop to look after her shop while she goes back for a while. Soon after, Sad came to buy flowers, and that's where their first love happened. They were attracted to each other, of course, because both of them had incredible physical attractiveness. However, their relationship had a bit of tension. Mia was annoyed that Cole criticized the way he took care of the flowers. Cole, who knew nothing about plants, suggested that Mia should just buy a cactus if she found it difficult to care for the flowers. Shortly after, the mother returned and scolded Cole for forbidding people to buy flowers. However, despite her annoyance, Mia ended up buying the flowers she chose. Before leaving, the mother advises Cole not to argue too much, and immediately asks for Mia's phone number. For some reason, Cole actually invites a debate about round plants, which of course makes Mia even more upset. Although still a little angry, Mia is actually also interested in Cole. He finally decided to approach Cole and ask him out. Without hesitation, Cole agreed, and the two of them spent time together, drinking coffee, talking and laughing. Their conversation flowed smoothly, and they both felt more and more comfortable with each other. Then, for no apparent reason, Cole asked Mia to race up the stairs. Of course, he didn't know that Mia was a secret agent trained with extraordinary physical skills. Mia, not wanting to be outdone, went along. On this occasion, Cole even left his belongings, including his asthma medication. Even though Cole has asthma, he still invites Mia to the staircase race. Quite a strange decision, isn't it? After the race, Cole tells Mia that he is an agricultural scholar and is now working on his family's farm. Mia, who is actually a secret agent, only says that he is an artist on vacation. He doesn't tell her much about his actual work, and they continue their time together happily into the night, where they share their first kiss, signaling that they are now in love. Cole drove Sad home, and although it was still awkward, both clearly felt a strong connection between them. After that incident, Cole, who was still full of happiness and flowery feelings, felt impatient to meet Mia again. Without thinking, he called Mia to enter his house. As you can imagine, the two ended up sharing an intimate moment at Mia's house. After the meeting, Cole went home with a beaming face, as if the world felt brighter. He felt very happy because he had just been with the woman who made him fall in love from the first sight. His family was also happy to see his happiness, because previously Cole often looked anxious and upset because of his ex's problems. However, strangely, a few days after the incident, Mia suddenly disappeared and did not reply to Cole's messages. Cole, who had sent many messages, felt increasingly confused because there was no news from Mia. Every day he continued to wait, but his messages remained unanswered. One day, while thinking of ways to contact Mia, Cole remembered that he had left his asthma medication with Mia. Incidentally, the asthma medication was equipped with GPS. Curious, Cole tracked the drug's whereabouts, and it turned out that its last location was in London, quite a distance from where he was now. Although confused and having never traveled abroad before, Cole felt that this was an opportunity to pursue his love. With the encouragement of his parents who convinced him, Cole finally decided to go to London and surprise Mia. They were sure that Mia would be very happy. Without hesitation, Cole flew to London. Once there, he continued his search, following the GPS instructions for his asthma medication. Eventually, he arrived at a deserted street. However, what a surprise he was when he saw not Sad, but a group of men who looked very dangerous. Without warning, Cole was immediately swarmed and captured by them. He was taken to a laboratory, where they began asking him questions he didn't understand. They misunderstood and thought that Cole was the person they were looking for, someone very important to them. Although Cole tried to explain that he was not the person they were referring to, they still did not believe him. These villains force Cole to give information about a secret hostage, but Cole knows nothing about it. When Cole insisted that he didn't know, One of the older villains didn't believe him and decided to torture him using a deadly insect. However, before that could happen, a woman came swiftly to her rescue. The woman quickly defeated the criminals who threatened Call and freed him. As it turns out, the woman is Sad. Sad reveals that she has been lying about her job all along. She is actually a secret agent of the CIA. The group of criminals who captured Call turned out to have been looking for Mia for a long time because he was the X-Man they were after, but they were mistaken and thought Call was the same person. After defeating several guards, Call and Mia managed to get out of the place. However, even more surprisingly, when they arrived outside, Call realized that they were now in Pakistan, even though they were previously in London. The situation becomes even more tense when they are suddenly attacked by the same group of criminals. Under duress, Call and Mia hijack a colorful bus and manage to escape, despite being pursued fiercely. After escaping, Call is furious with Mia for lying about his identity and not telling him what really happened. Mia was equally angry, feeling that Call had ruined his mission. Now, Call is a burden in his mission because the criminals think Call is the person they are looking for. Mia also insists that Call not talk much and follow his directions for their safety. On the other hand, the boss of the previous group of criminals is very angry because he lost the X-Man. The boss's name was Levis, and he gathered all his men to immediately arrest Call and Sad. He even issued an order to spread information about X-Man so that they could find him immediately. With the lure of a huge reward, the hitmen immediately start chasing them. Meanwhile, Mia and Call went to the market to meet Mia's old friend Marco, who was also a CIA agent. There, Mia asks Marco about the bad intentions of the group of criminals who attacked them in Goa. Marco explained that they were a group of criminals who stole a biochemical weapon of mass destruction known as Aspect. This weapon is extremely dangerous, and they plan to sell it for a very high price. Sad then asks Marco for help to drive Call back to America. The goal was to find the Aspect, which, if it fell into the wrong hands, would cause great destruction. Marco agrees to help, and after that, Mia rushes off to look for further clues. However, when they are about to continue their journey, Call is suddenly shot by a hitman. Apparently, Call is now the main target because of the bounty launched by Levis. Not only does one hitman go after Call, but another hitman, Jihan, famous from the Fast and Furious movies, also appears. In the chaos, Jihan manages to get them to the car, but in the back, she is killed by Baki. Baki puts tracking chips around their necks, which sends electric shocks if they try to escape. However, the situation escalates when Falcon shows up and finishes Baki off by running him over. Sad quickly retrieved the ring Baki was wearing and inquired about the location of the Aspect exchange. After getting the information, they immediately headed to the place. Mia began to plan how they could get Aspect out of the hands of the criminals. A confused Call asked about the secret password needed to open the suitcase containing the weapon, and Mia realized that the criminals knew nothing about the weapon's password. Mia thought hard and came up with a crazy idea. He would disguise himself as a hitman and hand Call over to Levis, because they believed that Call was the X-Man they were looking for. Mia knocked Call unconscious and handed him over to Levis. Before they deliver the promised $1 million, Levis orders his men to get the password from Call, threatening to kill them if they get the password wrong, which could cause the briefcase to explode. However, while they are on the plane, Ketchup, one of Levis' men, checks Call's cell phone and finds a photo of Call and Mia together, which upsets him and makes him want to kill them. When Ketchup tries to kill Call and Mia, Mia confesses that he knows the password they are looking for. Mia then shows the taser he took from Baki earlier and says that it's the password they want. Kakap, who was confused, finally held the device, but at the same time, Mia and Call fought them. In the midst of the fight, Mia gets angry at Call for taking a picture of the two of them sleeping, which Mia finds amusing, but Call finds strange. The situation gets tense, and just as they are about to lose, Call manages to save Mia and counterattacks the villains. A badly wounded Mia tells Call to take the parachute and carry the suitcase, suggesting that Call leave him for the safety of the mission. However, Call refused to leave Mia and chose to carry the suitcase. With only one parachute, Call managed to jump out of the plane, carrying the suitcase, while Mia remained inside the plane. 6 hours later, Mia finally woke up. Thanks to Call's success with Aspect's luggage, they were very grateful, even though they were now stranded on a small island in the middle of the sea. The mission wasn't over yet, and their situation was getting more and more confusing. Despite their previous disagreements, their closeness grows and it seems that they are starting to fall in love with each other. The next morning, their location was finally discovered by the criminals, who immediately ambushed them with an army of Levis men. However, luck was on their side as the CIA soldiers arrived in time to rescue them. Unfortunately, Aspect's briefcase was stolen again by David's men and they fled the scene. After the incident, Golden and Mia were brought back to the CIA office for questioning. Mia is now suspended for letting Aspect's weapon fall into enemy hands. Call is also questioned about the possibility of Mia treason, but Call defends Mia and says that Mia could not have betrayed him. Later, Call is shown some photos of his dead colleagues, who were killed by Mia for treason. While Call was pondering, his eyes fell on a strange plant, which turned out to be amaranth seeds, a plant commonly used by the Aztecs in their rituals. That's when they realized that the passcode they were looking for was related to the genetic makeup of the plant. After finding out the password, Sad got the idea to pretend to sell the television password as bait. The password would be divided into 3 parts, and one part would be sent first. They were sure Levis would be interested, but the problem was that CIA agents were prohibited from selling anything to criminals. However, Call, who was not a CIA agent, could help by pretending to be an X-Man and luring Levis out. Initially, Call refused to be the bait, but after thinking about the cruelty of Levis who could threaten the lives of his family, Call finally agreed to go ahead with the plan. Unfortunately, Sad was not allowed to participate because he was suspended, making him feel upset and leave. After that, they sent one part of the password to Levis. Sure enough, one part of the password was unlocked, and now there are 3 parts left. Levis felt something was wrong and felt trapped, but the problem was that the Aspect's gun buyer, Mr. Utami, couldn't wait any longer. He saw that one part of the password had been unlocked, and he immediately took Aspect from Levis. Mr. Utami warned Levis to get the rest of the password from X-Man and said that he also wanted to join the transaction because he couldn't wait to get the password. Long story short, Call prepared to head to the meeting place with Levis. He went with several other CIA agents to a luxury restaurant in a tall building. Meanwhile, the other CIA agents prepared at the designated place. Although very nervous, Call tried to remain calm and sat at the table that had been provided, waiting for Levis' arrival. However, what was unexpected was that the agents waiting in the car were attacked first by Levis' men. Call, who heard the news, was shocked and decided to leave immediately. However, he knew that if he stopped now, his family's lives would be at risk. Call finally resolved to continue with this mission. He returned to the table and waited for Levis to arrive. Soon, Levis and Mr. Utami arrived. Call tried to improvise to look like a professional. Levis then asked Call for the password, but Call asked for an additional fee, double what had been agreed. Levis began to get annoyed with Call's demands, which he considered excessive. Shortly after that, Levis took out his gun, pointed it at Call, and forced Call to immediately give his password. Call didn't expect Mia to come to her rescue again, this time by breaking his suspension. Sad then offered Mr. Utami an attractive proposition. He claimed to have the password and proposed that Mr. Utami transfer the money directly into his account, instead of through Levis. Levis began to feel anxious and tried to hold back, but Mr. Utami agreed to the offer. He promised to transfer the money once the suitcase was opened. As it turned out, they managed to steal the password from a CIA insider, Lucy. Lucy plugged the flash disk into the suitcase, and the password quickly unlocked the suitcase. As soon as the suitcase opened, Mr. Utami transferred $10 million to Sandy's account. However, Levis didn't just let them go. He pulled out a gun and threatened to kill them both. As it turned out, I had already prepared another plan. I had sent out a call to all the hitmen. Anyone who managed to kill Levis would be rewarded with $10 million. Shortly after that, many hitmen showed up at the venue, all targeting Levis. Things were getting tense, and as they pushed each other, I quickly stole Aspect's briefcase and went into hiding. Call and I then teamed up to fight the criminals. The criminals started to run away, but they were stopped by Levis' men. Call fought with them until they finally reached the control room. While I was still on top, Call, who was fighting with the ketchup, accidentally broke the controls and made the restaurant spin very fast. On the other side, an increasingly angry Levis finally killed Mr. Utami. Levis still tried to grab the Aspect, but I wouldn't let him. Call, cornered, was still trying to fight back, until he finally managed to drop the ketchup into the rotating gears, where he died. After that, Call caught up with me at the top, but he was already caught by Levis. Quickly, Call pushed Levis away and saved Mia. However, the room continued to spin very fast, making it difficult for everyone to move. I saw an opportunity to grab the Aspect and jumped at it. Luckily, I managed to catch it in time. We were all very happy that we managed to reclaim Aspect. After the incident, despite many difficulties, they finally met Call's family. Call was satisfied that he had managed to pursue his love and overcome his problems. So does Sad, who finally manages to get back with his family. Eventually, their relationship grows closer, and the movie ends happily.